Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Section 2AA3 of the Government Loans Act, 1978, I rise to inform this Honorable House of the issuance of a new $50 million government guarantee, the Bermuda Commercial Bank, for the Mortgage Guarantee Pilot Program. Mr. Speaker, in 2021, this government unveiled Bermuda's Economic Recovery Plan in this Honorable House. One of the 31 initiatives as part of that plan reads as follows, and I quote, "Reduce the costs of mortgages by lowering interest rates through measures to increase competition in the banking sector and by working with local banks to provide security for mortgage loans," end quote. Mr. Speaker, as Premier and Minister of Finance, I do not take the decision to increase government exposure lightly, and it is critical we take a measured approach when doing so. However, when assessing the current status of the housing market, and after listening to many hardworking Bermudians express their frustration as their dream of owning a piece of the rock becomes increasingly difficult due to rising high interest rates and high down payment requirements, it was incumbent on this government to act. Mr. Speaker, in our 2020 election platform, this government pledged to create a nation of owners and to work with local banks to reduce rates charged on mortgages. In keeping with those promises, last month this government announced a widely applauded pilot mortgage guarantee program. Mr. Speaker, with this pilot program, the government agreed to provide a partial guarantee in support of local mortgages with the bank. In return for the reduced risk, the bank agreed to offer approved applicants a reduced interest rate starting at 5%, and also to reduce the standard down payment from 20% to 10%. Mr. Speaker, the program is limited to a $50 million aggregate guarantee, and this pilot program represents a first step in the process of reducing mortgage rates in Bermuda. As the government continues to advance a broader scope initiative, which will look to reduce mortgage rates across all major local banks by leveraging the expertise of Bermuda-based reinsurers. Mr. Speaker, it is also worth noting that the government guarantee is not a traditional guarantee which guarantees each payment of the borrower and is therefore subject to being called whenever any payment is missed. Instead, it guarantees any deficiency judgment which would be outstanding after the bank properly exercises its power of sale, with the amount payable capped at $250,000 per mortgage. This approach helps to mitigate the government's risk. Mr. Speaker, as I mentioned earlier, this was not an easy decision, but we proceeded with this program as it was deemed necessary and important for a better future for Bermuda and its people. Since launching this program, this government has received feedback from many young Bermudians and parents of young Bermudians who have expressed their appreciation for this initiative, which confirmed to me and this government that although difficult, this was the right decision. Mr. Speaker, as a result of this government's actions, hundreds of Bermudians will be able to qualify for a home sooner, as the typical down payment requirement has been cut by half. And Mr. Speaker, given that some local banks require as high as 30% down, the down payment reduction can be as much as 66%, saving a first-time homeowner $100,000 on their down payment for a $500,000 loan. The reduced interest rate of 5% will save new homeowners hundreds of dollars per month as a result of the lower interest rates, which is comparable to rates overseas. Mr. Speaker, we are in the first 3 phases of this pilot program. In the first phase, home buyers 40 years old and under are eligible to take advantage of this program, depending on capacity. The second and third phases will include the refinancing of existing mortgages held with BCB and other financial institutions. Mr. Speaker, it is important the public is reminded that the approval process and the relationship through the entirety of the loan will be between the borrower and the bank. The government will have no involvement or influence with any decision made by the bank in the granting of a mortgage. Mr. Speaker, it is also important to note that the government guarantee will not be in place for the entire term of the mortgage. As each loan is unique, the time period when the guarantee will fall away can differ. However, under the agreement, the duration of the guarantee for any loan cannot exceed 10 years. This process will allow the government to then apply the guarantee in support of additional borrowers. Finally, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Finance is working with the international business community, particularly with those with experience in providing insurance for mortgage default risk in the United States, to establish possible terms to ensure a portion of the exposed risk under this agreement. Mr. Speaker, as I come to a close, I'm thrilled to inform this Honorable House and the people of Bermuda that 91 applications have been received by the Bermuda Commercial Bank for loans under this program. Yes, Mr. Speaker, that is 91 Bermudians who are not able to get on the property ladder who can now see their dreams become a reality. Mr. Speaker, later today, honorable members and the public will hear a speech from a party that left taxpayers with a bill of over $250 million for Morgan's Point and the privatized airport. At the same time, no action was taken to make the dream of home ownership a reality for more Bermudians. While the opposition talks, this government has a real record of delivery, and we will continue to execute Bermuda's economic recovery plan, which has contributed to the best economic growth on this island since 2007. Mr. Speaker, this government is committed to providing direct investment in the people of Bermuda and supporting economic growth in a fiscally prudent manner. The economy will benefit from a growing number of Bermudians owning homes in Bermuda, and by providing tangible support, this government is holding true to our pledge to create a nation of owners. This program is having a positive impact for many Bermudian families, and I am proud, Mr. Speaker, to lead a government that is making home ownership a reality for more Bermudians. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.